It's been a nice spiritual awakening. I feel like a spiritual cleansing here. And one of the things I talk about, I was talking to my clients last night in our main group that I highly recommend like changing your environment because as you know the paradigm which I believe we talked about yesterday, when you change your environment, it changes the way you see the world. You see different things. You're waking up in different patterns, brushing your teeth in different ways. And for most of you, what you'll realize, and this is just for me personally, I get way more quantum leaps from changing my environment than some strategy, a thumbnail, a better sales script, a better this. Like, for example, let me tell you how I'm applying this to my life. Well, obviously, I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. So we're trying different strategies. We're running ads. We're making, lifestyle videos. We're making master classes, all these different things. Or I just came to Bali and I realized I had to cleanse spiritually, where I noticed an ego difference between the older version of myself that was too externally caught up in Dubai lifestyle and not enough deep problem solving with content. And so reverting back to deep masterclass style content that's solving a problem and less on external environments. You see, these reflections come because I'm in a new environment. Whereas when you're living that certain pattern, you don't really know. And you learn not to judge yourself, which is what I started to do at first. You don't judge yourself. You say, hey, that was the track that I was kind of going towards. So let's shift in this direction. You're able to introspect. Do you think that will have a bigger impact on my business, my sales, more than a thumbnail, a script, and a hook, and what's to say on a sales call? That's what I'm talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, that's enough. We're going to get into it. We have a long one. This one might be 90 minutes because we're going to get into some notes here from chapter 4, and then we're going to get into the workbook. You guys are going to be doing some work on the call with me, and then we'll cover the homework, and I'm going to be talking about the program. Some of you have already been DMing me. You want to know, hey, how does the program work with you? Talk about that briefly today. It's mostly tomorrow, but just briefly talk about that today. So get out a piece of paper and pen because you will be doing some writing today. There'll be little segments where you'll be writing and stuff, okay? So while you're doing that, let's go ahead and let's get this going here. I want to see myself. There we go. Okay, so if you have Think and Grow Rich, I'm going to go to chapter 4, which is auto-suggestion. And the fun thing about this chapter here is that the entire book was basically written around this one chapter. So I'll probably get to it a little bit later, but I want you to keep this in mind that auto-suggestion is the only known way, aka the only voluntary way to reprogram the subconscious mind. And so we're going to be covering some of those big factors here. I'm not covering every step by step. You guys can pick up the book yourself. What I'm doing here, covering some notes, teaching you how to implement it, how I implement it to my business. I'm able to scale and, have fun with my life like you guys can do as well and go after the success that you want. So let's talk about it. Auto-suggestion. The medium for influencing the subconscious mind, the third step towards riches. If you guys are joining for the first time, as you noticed, we didn't do chapter 2. That's the next challenge, right? Day 2 was about desire. That was yesterday, I think. I don't know, guys. It's 1 in the morning. I just get on here and I talk. Like I have a plan, but I'm hanging out with you guys. It's basically us having a chat here, at my table and stuff. But what we're covered. But right now we're on the next chapter. We're kind of jumping around. The next challenge will be doing some other chapters. There's 13 chapters, so we're going to be here the next coming months, okay? What is auto-suggestion? Auto-suggestion is also known as self-suggestion, aka talking to yourself. Through the dominating thought, which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, which we learned yesterday. We have the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the body, right? Through the dominating thoughts that you hold, that one permits to hold in his conscious mind, whether the thoughts be positive or negative. Remember, we talked about letting the outside world influence you, or you reacting or responding. We covered that. So it doesn't matter whether it's positive or negative. The principle of auto-suggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influence it through your thoughts. So you were instructed on, I believe, yesterday's lesson. You were instructed to follow the 6 steps. Who remembers that for me? Drop in the chat right now. Let me see if you guys are paying attention. Drop the 6 steps that we covered. Remember, we talked about the 6 steps of creating your goal, right? So just drop the random one, right? Because somebody's gonna, if everybody just drops 1 and 2, just drop one of the ones that you remember. Just drop it in the chat right now. And then we'll cover all 6 as everybody drops something in the chat. What are the 6 steps that we covered? Goal card, right. That was number 5. Definite date, right. Plan. Visualization was not one. Plan. Date, correct. What else? Exact amount. No, not a vision board. That was your homework. Date, intend to give. Great. I was waiting for that one because a lot of you guys ignored that one. What do you plan to give in return for the money? A lot of you want to forget that one because you're like, oh, the money's just going to come into my bank account. Not exactly. So we covered that. So now you guys know what we're talking about. It's the exact amount. What you plan to give. What's the date? What's your plan? Write it on a goal card. And mostly number 6, I was just waiting for it right there. The last one from Asnan, which is read it twice per day, once before going off to sleep and first thing in the morning. So you were instructed in the last of the 6 steps described on in chapter on desire to read aloud twice a day the written statements of your desire for money and to see and feel yourself already in possession of the money. By following these instructions, you are communicating the object of your desire directly to the subconscious mind in a spirit of absolute faith. Through repetition of this procedure, you are voluntarily creating the habits which are favorable to your efforts to transmute desire into its monetary equivalent. What does that mean? By you simply taking out your goal card, which you should. I use goal cards as like stops in my book. Look at it. There's my book right there. I have a stop where I'm reading, a stop where I'm teaching. So this is a goal card. I got one in my pocket. This is my active one. These are my older goal cards. I've shifted my goal cards a little bit. And so my older ones I'll just use there. Here's my current one. Talked about that already, right? So this is what we're talking about. It's by reading this twice a day, multiple times throughout the day, visualizing, like I just did a visualization right now, right before this meeting, right? That's why my eyes are a little like this, not the fact that it's 1 a.m. as well. So do the visualization, and we'll talk about a little bit later. This is how we're actually planting into the subconscious mind, but you have to know what's going on. So remember, simply reading the words, simply reading this goal card that you formulated on day 2 yesterday with no emotion will do nothing for you. The mere reading of the words is of no consequence unless you mix the feelings with the words. Without mixing emotions and feelings and faith with the words, you will experience no desirable results. Write that down. You will experience no desirable results if you do not have feeling and emotions back behind that goal card that you're writing. Your subconscious mind recognizes and acts only upon the thoughts that have been well mixed with the emotions of faith and feeling. What I talk about, what is the language of the subconscious mind? Who's been paying attention? Drop it in the chat. There's 2 languages of the subconscious mind. You must do both in order to speak to the subconscious mind, aka speak in frequencies. Feelings and images. Yep, you got it right there. Backed by what? Backed by what? There you go. Ariel, you got it. Backed by repetition. You have to do it repetitiously, which we're going to talk about here in a second. So it's images or the mental movie backed by feeling states done repetitiously is the language of the subconscious mind. Where most people fall off is that they're not doing the feeling part. This is a fact of such importance as to warrant repetition in practically every chapter, because the lack of understanding of this is the main reason the majority of people who try to apply the principle of auto-suggestion get no desirable results. And he's speaking about not putting feeling behind you reading your goal card. No, not putting feeling behind doing your visualization. This is an important part. You will get no appreciable results until you learn to reach your subconscious mind with thoughts or spoken words which have been emotionalized with belief. Making sense here? Everybody got that? Your ability to use the principle of autosuggestion will depend very largely upon your capacity to concentrate upon a given desire until that desire becomes a burning obsession. Okay, so here is what we're doing. You have to hold this image long enough in your conscious mind until it becomes a burning hot desire. Join my whiteboard, please. We're on my whiteboard, by the way. So I think you guys have to actively join it. If not, whatever, come join it. All right. So here we are. We have the stick figure. We have the conscious mind. We have the subconscious mind. We have the body. The body, therefore, takes actions which are in alignment with this image here, which then we formulate through the law of attraction. R represent results. The law of attraction is a reaction. We'll put that here on the side. The law of attraction is a reaction to the action states that we're putting out, right? Thoughts, feelings, actions, all three levels. Okay? So what's happening is you're going to formulate an image here out in the ether with your, you're going to form an image with your imagination faculty. Remember, we briefly talked about it on day 2, but like I said, as you guys know, I have a full program, like 3 months. So I'm trying to like cover enough points where you understand what I'm saying, but I don't have enough time to cover every little thing. But one of the faculties of the mind is the imagination. So we use the imagination, which separates us from all the living creatures, to formulate an image of what we want to plant into our life. Remember, we talked about responding versus reacting. Okay, so we're going to use our imaginative faculty to form an image of what our dream life looks like. Okay, and we talked about that in our homework. What was your homework last night? You guys remember? By the way, remember, this is a challenge, so I'm not gonna, unless you guys are in VIP, I'm not checking your homework. Like, this is for you to do for yourself. If you are in VIP, yes, we're gonna go over your homework on Friday. Okay, but for most of you, like, just do it. What is the homework? Drop in the chat. Who remembers? Who did their homeworks? If you did the homework, you know what the homework was. Drop in the chat. Some people didn't do it. Some people did. Let's see who did it. You get, it's not a business plan, but yeah, a plan towards your C-type goal. Plan your goals. What else? What else is in there? You have your gold card. Yes, that was one of them. What else was your homework? It was your script. Yeah, you got it. Your life script, your gold card, and voluntarily was your vision board. Okay. So why do we write that script? Because that script formulates an image of what this looks like, and it's that image we're gonna then plant into the subconscious mind. Let that represent by this red eye. So now using another part of the faculty, so hey, we just used our imagination. Okay, I'm just gonna put IMG. Just that means imagination. So check. We just used our imagination now to formulate this image here. But then we're gonna have to use something called the willpower. The willpower to hold this image in our mind long enough for it to become manifest. Because we're going to put feeling behind this new image here, and we're going to plant it into the subconscious mind. And that does take a little bit of time, which will then alter your feeling states, alter your feelings. You'll then have the feeling states of it being done. Then you'll take actions that are in alignment, not with the old state, but with the new state, which will then change your results. You don't have to worry about the law of attraction. That will do its own part. All you have to do this. So what we're talking about in this segment of Think and Go Rich is you have to, now you formulated the image. We got that done. That was desire. That was day 2 of this challenge. Now we're going into the next part, which is the auto suggestion, which is this little line here, which I'm going to represent in purple. This line that separates the conscious and the subconscious mind, we're going to have to use the willpower in order to penetrate that. Does that make sense? Okay. So what is basically being said there is your ability to use the principle of autosuggestion, aka planting into the subconscious mind, will depend largely upon your capacity to concentrate upon a given desire, goal card, long enough for it to become a burning obsession. We talked about the difference, right? So we're going to use the willpower as a mental faculty in order to do that. So remember, there's wishful thinking, there's a goal, and there's an obsession. I will be able to determine where you're at on that. Typically with a phone call, if I have a one-on-one with you, I'll be able to find which 3 of those you are. And quite frankly, we'll look at your results. If most of you are in business, I assume, like I told you, I apply this to business. So if we apply this to business, I can just hold on. I dropped one of my gold cards. I got like 3 of them. Look, I got all these gold cards here. But I can just simply check your revenue. How much cash have you done? It's now what it's the 12th of the month. How's cash? We're halfway through the month. Where are you at this month? Your ability to focus, your willpower, all these things I'm teaching, like I'm teaching it to you guys. You hear me, but are you doing like that? It can change like literally like this week, but you have to learn how to apply. So the subconscious mind takes any orders given to in the spirit of absolute faith and acts upon those orders, although the orders may often be presented, although those orders often have to be presented over and over again through repetition. Making sense here. It's the repetition. It's over and over and over. How did you learn the language that you learn now? Most of you only speak English. For those of you that learned another language and they're like after the age of, being a toddler, right? It's repetition of the same language, right? All we do is speak Spanish in the house with Vanessa, and I don't know why, but she needs to learn English. So it's the repetition of her hearing English all the time, where we can get her to speak English. It's the same thing with learning a language. It's the same thing with planting to your subconscious mind. And you guys do it for 3 days and don't see results, 3 weeks, and then you give up on yourself. Like, this is not how it works. You have to hold state. You have to hold state. And this is the part that's not easy, but once you figure it out, you unlock life, which is your ability to cut off the outside world, to see what you want, to not react anymore, but to respond when the power flows into your consciousness. This is what I've been able to do. I've been able to go from not having more than a couple of dollars in my account to next month having 100K months. Now, I've done that multiple times because I have this ability to do this. I stumbled across it unconsciously, and I just got good at this, and I teach to my client. And sometimes I just give them faith. Like, I teach them something specific, like the client, what's her name? Adelaide. Obviously, most of my clients are not on this because, I just teach them direct stuff. But my client Adelaide, she started in my smaller group, my school group, which some of you are in the school group here. She started my school group, the $300 a month one, and then she upgraded to my Quantum Leap program. I'll talk about that later. And so she was in the program for a month, and she wasn't really doing anything. Like, she was hopping on the calls. I'm like, Adelaide, what's going on? This is now going into December, like just a few months ago. And it got to the point where there was not that many clients hopping on the Christmas calls. Like, it was getting a little close, like the call right before Christmas. So it was like maybe 5 people on the call. So I was like, Adelaide, what's going on? Like, you've been in the program now. I don't see you asking questions. What's going on? She's like, I want to start a business. And she does something called crochet. Who's ever heard of crochet before? No idea what the hell that is. That's like knitting. Guys, it's like literally knitting. It's called crochet. No idea what it was. She's like, I want to make $100,000 a month doing crochet. I'm like, well, first of all, what is that? Right? And what we ended up doing right there on the call is we found out that YouTube is a massive market for crochet. And we just, with a little bit of research, which I've been making YouTube videos for 14 years, so I showed her how to do back-end research. We found out that the top videos are, first of all, they're old videos, 9 years old, and that one person only posted 135 videos and built 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. So we found out there's massive demand for this crochet on YouTube. And that a lot of these videos were not even professionally made. And when we did research, a lot of these people don't even have coaching. So there's a massive group of women who are watching all these YouTube videos. They have no community. They have no step-by-step. They have to spend all these hours watching YouTube videos. They don't have a mentor. They don't know how to do advanced things. They have to jump around. And I was like, Adelaide, what if we were to start a YouTube channel for you, and then we teach these ladies how to do crochet at your level? She's been doing it now her whole life, years, decades. She's been doing crochet. Guess what? This was December. She started posting YouTube videos. She did everything I said, and this is why. You take this stuff I'm teaching you, and you implement it. So luckily for her, she was in the coaching program, so I taught her exactly what to do with the YouTube channel. First month, 4,000 subscribers. She's generating, like, already we're going to launch. She's going to do multiple 6, if not 7 figures her first year teaching crochet on YouTube, because I taught her how to implement these things. We got the conscious mind, the subconscious mind. We did this. We took action, quantum leap, all these things specifically for her because she was getting on the call. And that is how you apply it. You guys are taking notes and you're reading this, but you have to learn how to take what I'm saying and implement it. And that's why she was able to get 4,000 subscribers her first month. It's a mix of business and the mindset. You got to do both. But anyways, what I'm sharing with you right there is that the plan was downloaded. The plan was downloaded. Then she got out of her way, reprogrammed her self-image that I am a person that makes content, because she didn't want to make content. Now she's making content. It got to the point now she hired me for one-on-one, right? So like, that's literally how my business works, by the way. Like, literally my business is fun. You guys hire me, you make a lot of money, you're like, holy shit, this works, and you hire me again. That's literally how my business, every month I make anywhere from like 30 to 50,000 a month of people just upgrading. Like they're like, DeAndre, I want more. Like that's how I have fun. And it's like it gets to the point where you get the mind right. Let me just tell you this. I'm on a massive tangent, but when you get this stuff right, you easily make 20,000 a month. I'm telling you right now, with the same things you know now. Drop a 3 in the chat or drop a 6 in the chat if you've been in business more than 6 months. If you've been in your business right now, your industry, which you've been in more than 6 months, drop a 6. Okay. Majority of you, I'm saying a lot of you, okay? A nice percentage of you. If you have been in your industry for more than 6 months, you have everything, all the knowledge and systems you need right now at the time of recording of you watching this to make 100,000 a month. If you've been doing this more than 6 months, the thing that is stopping you now is your mindset. I'm literally telling you this. It's the mind part. Once you fix this part, because you have all the knowledge part, if you've been doing it more than 6 months, okay? Because now you know the tech, the funnel, the ads, the lawyer, the legal, the funnels, the offer. That stuff is kind of like already at least like to the degree enough for you to sell it. If you made $1, you're ready to make 100K a month. But what's happening now is the mind part. So then what happens, you get the mind part and boom, you jump up 20K a month, 30K a month. But not to keep it, now you need business infrastructure. And that's where that's a whole other place. But most of you are not even there yet. Business infrastructure when you're doing more than 50K a month, okay? But there's levels to this, okay? So let's get back on track. Well, I was just my massive tangent right there. I was talking about the plan. The plan will be downloaded when you apply what we're talking about. It's not reading and meditating and woo-saw and, oh my God, it's going to come to me. No, you take this information, you quantum leap. You get a plan. Okay, plan says start a YouTube channel. You start a YouTube channel. You don't quit. You make videos, 2-3 videos a week. You get better. You make better thumbnails. You try. You fail. It didn't work. You switch niche. And then you keep working. You work. You got to do that part. Let's continue. Your imagination can and will create plans for you to accumulate the money that you desire. This is going off yesterday's lesson. Pay attention, everybody. Some of you already distracted on TikTok and have 3 other tabs open. Attention, willpower. Don't give it to somebody else. Bring it back here. Do not wait for a definite plan through which you intend to exchange services or merchandise in return for the money you've been visualizing. Begin at once to see yourself in possession of the money, demanding and expecting, meanwhile, that your subconscious mind will hand over the plans or plan for you to achieve it. Do not wait for the money. I was just talking to a client that I have now. He's already paid me $9,000 and he wants to upgrade now to my 20K package. And he's like, once I get the money. And I'm like, Scott, what have I taught you? What have I taught you? You don't get the money first. You decide, then the money comes. Like, even at the client level. And this is where I'm saying, like, everybody falls into the same problem. I don't care. Like, once you learn this is when you're like, will unlock things. Once you decide, then the money comes. If not, you're literally a slave to the matrix. Unless you've been born with money where now money is just effortlessly handed to you, great. Then I don't know. I don't know that life. I had to earn everything. Okay? So if that's the case, I first decide, then the money comes. Like I've already decided to live on the Palm. My house there, which cost me $75,000 a month to live, is already built. Somebody's just keeping it warm for me. So now I just gotta, grow the challenges and build my YouTube channel while they renovate it for me and make it nice and paint the walls and make sure the pool's clean until I move in. Like this, that's how this is working. How do you see life, right? So with that being said, be on the alert for these plans. When they appear, put them into action immediately. Do you guys hear me here? You're not meditating and then like nothing's happening. You are going to download a plan. You will then put that plan into action. And that plan, most likely the first one will not work, but it will be through the bridge of incidents that the next one will. I told you guys, or maybe I didn't tell you guys, sorry. I don't know. I just talk everywhere. I'm talking on Instagram. By the way, if you're on Instagram, get on the school group, watch the story, join the group. Why you guys are weird? Like join the community over here. Weirdos on Instagram, come join us here. Have fun with us, okay? But anyways, so when I first started with Bob, I told you guys 100K a month is what I desired. And so the plan that I downloaded is when I was driving back. So I started with Bob around my birthday, January 30th, 2020. And after I paid to become a consultant, he was having like a consultant meeting in February, like maybe 2 weeks, February 10th, something like this. So during that 14-day period, I was studying, meditating, visualizing, and I was doing all the work that he did. And I'll talk about what I was doing later on in this lesson. This is going to be a longer call, by the way, okay? Because I have so much to cover. We have to get into action plans and stuff. So I'll get into what I actually did. But while I was driving up to LA during that time, I remember driving specifically my grandparents, like I think it was like a minivan, the Honda Civic or whatever it was, CRV, and I got this download, boom, it hit me, and something told me to message this guy named Jason Stone, which you guys may know, the younger guys, Millionaire Mentor on Instagram, and I was like, I know Jason Stone, but I didn't know him like that, and the idea hit me, and it hit something called a terror barrier, which I'm not going to cover in today's lesson, but I got so scared to call him, but I knew that was the plan. I ended up calling him. And I told you guys the story. He was like, I just saw Bob Proctor. Yeah, come teach. And I started teaching his network marketing team that he was developing. He had like 30 people, and I would do it for free, teaching lesson 1 of Thinking to Results, which is the program I used to sell with Bob Proctor. And I would teach it. 30 people on the call. And I wasn't getting any sales, but I was just practicing. And that was the idea that I downloaded. I was practicing every week. And I did that for about 5 weeks. I think I only got maybe one client, I think, not more than like 1 or 2. And remember, I'm over here talking about 100,000 a month, and I'm doing all these calls for free. Like this challenge technically is for free, right? I'm doing all this free stuff, and I'm like, how is this getting me closer to 100K a month? But I stayed persistent, making YouTube videos, and I'm doing the challenges. Out of nowhere, this guy messages me on Instagram. It came to me. He said, hey, DeAndre, I see you running these calls for Jason's team. Can you come run it for my team? I'm like, sure, let's do it. How many people are like on your calls? He said 300. I'm like, okay, that's better than 30. Let's do it. We promote it over the weekend. We get on the call. 1,500 people showed up. I did the same exact lesson I was doing for those 6 weeks with 30 people now in front of 1,500. I dropped my calendar link. Same, nothing else changed. Literally the same thing I was doing for 6 weeks, making no money. Now I did it in front of 1,500 people because he messaged me. I didn't go to it. It came to me. And then I made 100 grand in 17 days and then scaled to $1 million after that. Like literally it came to me. But did the $1 million months, or sorry, $1 million and 100K months come from the direct source? No. It came through the bridge of incidents. First, A, download, call Jason Stone, hit terror barrier. B, work with him for free. Most people don't want to do that. Step 3, do this for 6 weeks, get no results. Step 7, this guy messages you. Step 8, make 100,000 a month. Like that's literally how life went. And this is how Mr. Law of Attraction YouTube channel worked. Like it was always through these bridge of incidences. Let's get back to the text here. So be on alert for these plans. Like for me, it was driving to LA. I downloaded this random plan. This challenge is part of this random plan that I'm doing, right? Be on the alert for these random plans. When they appear, put them into action immediately. When plans appear, they will probably flash into your mind through the sixth sense in the form of inspiration. This inspiration may be considered a direct telegram from the infinite intelligence, aka the spiritual realm, the quantum realm. Treat it with respect and act upon it as soon as you receive it. This is a very important thing. You have to act upon it now. You think you're the only one that got that idea? You think you're special? Well, kind of, you're special. But you're really not special when it comes to these ideas. You realize these ideas are just recycled through generations and generations and generations of people. And then you think that you're so special to download that idea for a business that the same person in Singapore and Germany download the same idea. How do I know this? Have you guys ever gotten an idea to do something, whatever it be, and then you never did it? Then weeks or months later on, you go by and somebody else did it, and you're like, wait, I had that same idea too. That's what I'm talking about. You're not that special. Multiple people will download that same frequency, because remember, there's billions of us here, and there's infinite amount of frequencies. So at least there's 1 or 2 or 3 people in the world which might also tap into that same frequency that you downloaded. Except person A will do nothing with it. Person B is waiting to get the money. Person B, or sorry, 3 did it even without the money, and they're the one that achieved the frequency because that frequency wanted to become manifest. Do you realize this? You are being used by that frequency to become material. It is only through consciousness that God can work to and through us to turn a frequency, aka thought, consciousness, to its material counterpart. So you as a human being are a part of the vehicle to make it manifest. This business, this material here, this book that's 100 years old is working through Mr. Law of Attraction to build into a business, and a byproduct is I'll earn millions of dollars. But really, this material expands to the next generation, to the next generation. I inspire the next generations of leaders. When I pass on, those people will speak to me, and it's the same cycle that I worked with Bob, because I am and we are just vehicles for the frequency to become manifest into its material counterpart. So me building a YouTube channel is this frequency's way of becoming manifest. Are you making sense? Drop a 7 in the chat if you guys are following me, what I'm putting down. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, drop a 7 in the chat. Yes, sir. Let's go. When visualizing the money you intend to accumulate with your eyes closed, see yourself. I don't know if you guys are ready for this one. I don't know if you guys are ready for this one. I don't know. I don't know what kind of group is this? Are y'all the like what put on the lottery manifestations before bed and watch The Secret and thinking like, like you're gonna get a check in the mail? Like, what are you guys, what group is this? Are you guys like business owners that are like wanting to work with the law of compensation? You want to add value, you want to solve problems in the world, you want to add increase to the world. Which one are you guys? I don't know. Are you the lottery people? Which is fine, nothing wrong with them. Or are you guys wanting to work with the law of compensation? Okay, so let's continue. I think you guys are the latter. You guys mostly business owners that want to solve problems and increase into the world and add value to the world. I believe that's where you guys are at, which I know you guys are. So this is for you. When visualizing the money you intend to accumulate with your eyes closed, see yourself rendering the service or delivering the products and the merchandise you intend to give for the money. This is very important. That's literally like italicized, which, yeah, it'll work. Look, it even says, if you guys see at the top there, this is important. You have to see yourself giving the product, see yourself speaking on the stage, see yourself telling the program, see yourself creating the product, see yourself running the ads, like whatever service you are going to do when you're visualizing, see yourself selling the real estate, see yourself in the mansion, see yourself giving the keys to the property owners. Like you have to see yourself rendering the products and services. Don't try to download numbers from a lottery. What's easier for you to control now is adding value to the universe. Because think about this: does the universe want these higher frequencies? Let's just talk in the quantum realm. Do these frequencies, do they just want to give you something for nothing? Which is, there's no such thing as something for nothing without earning it. If you believe in that, go research all the lottery winners who within 7 years have lost everything and more. Because any frequency where you give, there's never something for where you take without giving, you will lose it. That's why you can always tell who the scammers are in Miami and Dubai, these big cities, because they spend money ridiculously. And they got all this Gucci and all this stuff, and they're very like distasteful, and they're just throwing money everywhere. And you can say that guy's a scammer. He didn't earn his money. It's very easy to tell these people. They're the ones buying all the bottles and stuff. Don't believe me? Go look at the last guy who scammed all the Bitcoin. Where was he at? In Miami with all the Lamborghinis and the watches and the parties and stuff. It's very why? Money gained without or something for nothing is never held, and it will leave just as quickly. It's a frequency you tap into. Therefore, on the opposite side, when you are tapped in and you give something and you're giving something, right? You're giving value, you're solving problems, you're adding increase to the world. What will start to happen now? What will start to happen now is that frequency will work to and through you and will aid you. It's working. It's in your favor. It wants to become manifest. Do you realize that? Like, go back to this quantum idea. Remember we talked about infinite frequencies. These frequencies are just here. They're here. billions upon billions, trillions upon trillions of frequencies. The version of you that's fat, the version of you that's overweight, the version of you that's married, the version of you that's skinny, the version of you that's a millionaire, the version of you that's like infinite right? These want to become manifest, but they can only become manifest one at a time through one piece of consciousness that comes into your mind that can fill your conscious mind. And so if you select which one, remember electromagnetic, you select which one that you want. Look at that. The camera's doing my thing. Yes, sir. My camera's on my team right now. You see? You download this information and then you start to act that frequency's in your favor. Whatever you're wanting to manifest is wanting to manifest to and through you. What you're seeking is seeking you. Yes, sir. Let's go. Drop a yes, sir in the chat. Let me see if you guys are active with me. Okay, 3 steps right here. Step number 1, go into a quiet place, preferably in bed at night, where you will not be disturbed or interrupted. Close your eyes and repeat aloud so you may hear your own words, the written statement of the amount of money that you intend to accumulate, the time limit for its acquisition, description of the service or merchandise you intend to give for the money. As you carry out these instructions, see yourself in possession of that money, aka before night and morning. You're gonna read this thing. Let me see your goal cards. Let me see you. If you don't have your camera on, you're not accountable. You're probably doing something other than paying attention. This is a challenge. It's not a YouTube video. Hello, I'm live here. Nice to meet you guys. Not a YouTube video. I'm live here. Therefore, this is a challenge. Means you're accountable. You're here. You're working. I don't care if you're in your pajamas. Just make sure you have clothes on. Turn your camera on. All right. So with that being said, it keeps you accountable. You're here to work. I'm having fun. All right, so that's the first step, right? Is you're reading your goal card first thing at night. Step 2, repeat this program night and day until you see yourself in the imagination, the money that you tend to accumulate. AKA repeat this every day until it becomes manifest. Until when? Until it becomes manifest. Like Jim Rohn says, until. I got a tattoo from Jim Rohn right here. Until it becomes manifest. He's probably one of the best speakers in the world. Jim Rohn. Number 3, place a written copy of your statement, aka your goal card. See it at night and in the morning, and read it just before retiring and upon rising in the morning. Okay. Now I think we're gonna leave this one, and then we're gonna get into the workbook here. Okay. Make sure you have your piece of paper and pen. We're gonna start getting into some questions here. The actual performance of transmuting desire. Actual performance of transmuting this script into real money involves the use of autosuggestion as the agency, aka the vehicle, by which one may reach and influence the subconscious mind. The other principles that we teach in this book, that he's literally saying this right now, everything else that I teach, aka myself, Bob Proctor, everything else, goal cards, C-type goals, terror barriers, masterminds, paradigms, all of these things are just to support this one thing, which is autosuggestion. That is the base of that is the real secret. If you want to know what the real secret is autosuggestion. I'm going to read this word for word so you can see how much importance he puts on this. And this is the final thing we'll read here. The actual performance of transmuting desire into money involves the use of autosuggestion as the agency by which one may reach and influence the subconscious mind. The other principles are simply tools with which to apply autosuggestion. Keep this thought in mind, and you will at all times be conscious of the important part of the principle of autosuggestion as it plays as a big effort to accumulate money through the methods described in this book. He just dropped a massive bomb that says everything else I've talked about in all 300 pages, 13 chapters of this book are just aids to this one chapter known as autosuggestion, which is what the vehicle to speak to the subconscious mind that controls 95% of your results. You guys following me here? Drop a yes in the chat if you guys are with me. You guys are following me, and that is the notes that we taking from this book on autosuggestion. You guys liking it? How are we doing on time? We're okay. Yeah, we got like a nice little 45 minutes still, okay? All right, pen and paper out. Let's go. Now we're getting to implementing this lesson. Get your pen and your paper. We're soon gonna have a workbook for this. Like it's in the works right now. We're gonna have a full workbook. You guys will download the workbook, and it's gonna be a fun thing. And basically, you'll use that workbook throughout the next year. I guess didn't say year because each challenge will be different. For example, we didn't cover faith, we didn't cover mastermind, we didn't cover subconscious mind like in depth, right? Like there's different things that we're gonna cover throughout this book, and so we can only do it once a month. Okay, that's the plan right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's talk about dominating thoughts. I'm gonna teach something. Then there's gonna be an action plan. I'm gonna give you 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, to write some stuff down, and then we're gonna move on to the next section. Okay, this just take us about 15 minutes to do this together. Okay, so let's start first with a teaching point. Understanding the subconscious mind. Okay, we are on autosuggestion still. Okay, everything we're talking about here is about autosuggestion. Autosuggestion, as we stated, is self-suggestion. Communicate the object of your desire directly to your subconscious mind in the spirit of absolute faith. Through repetition of this procedure, you voluntarily create the habit which are favorable to your efforts to transmute desire into its monetary equivalent. You are now reading the chapter which represents the ketone to this frequency. Okay, dominating thoughts. Number one, through dominating thoughts, which one permits to remain into the conscious mind. Remember, we talked about the conscious mind. Whatever dominating thoughts. Remember that wild horse we talked about, the one, the part that said your name. That's what we're talking about. That idea that you keep in your conscious mind, whether they're positive or negative, and the principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences that part, that wild horse. We're going to train that wild horse to be a nice, beautiful horse that will be at the stables at the Del Mar Fair in San Diego or wherever your horses are at. Okay. Number two, guarding your thoughts. All senses, and this is where we have to do the rejection part. Okay. So part one is going to be talking about your current wild horse. Part B is what does your pretty horse look like, your trained horse. Okay. So number two here, guarding your thoughts. All sense impressions which are perceived through the five senses are stopped by the conscious mind and may be either passed on to the subconscious mind or rejected at will. Remember we talked about spiritual faculties and physical faculties. You guys follow me? What are the physical faculties? See, hear, smell, taste, and touch. You can see the outside world, and that's connected to your conscious mind, which can then go into the subconscious mind. AKA, you looked at your bank account today and you start to cry. You start to feel lack. You just went to the store this morning to buy yourself some gas and realize your bank account makes you feel uncomfortable. That's what we're talking about. You're using your physical senses to plant to the subconscious mind, aka reacting to the outside world. But we don't want to use that. We want to use your spiritual faculties, which are imagination, will, reason, perception, memory, and imagination. That is the ones that we're going to use to pull yourself up to the next levels. If you do this, you will have a lot of fun. Life becomes very effortless. You manifest in business whatever you want, literally. The conscious faculties serve, therefore, as the outer guard to approach to the subconscious mind. Nature has so built man that he has absolute control over the material which reaches his subconscious mind through his five senses. Although this is not meant to be constructed as a statement that man always uses this control, but in a great majority of times, people do not use this faculty. Like right now, you guys are hearing me, but if I was to get on a one-on-one call with you, we'd find out in 10 seconds why you're stuck. That's literally what it is. Okay. Now get out your piece of paper and pen. Let's write it down. Number one, dominating thoughts. What are 3 dominating thoughts you carry with you day in and day out? Here are some examples. Here's the ones that I wrote. I must work hard to create. I must work hard and create content to get sales. That's what I wrote down. The next one I wrote down is I hope my ads work. Right? These are your wild horses, your wild thoughts that you're having. And the third one I put is my videos aren't getting the views like they used to. My channel is growing slow. Right? These are my wild horses that are literally dictating my life. So go ahead and write yours. Okay, I'm going to give you here 60 seconds. You can finish them off later on, but I'm going to give you 60 seconds because this is a challenge. So I'm not here to teach you stuff. You're here to work. Okay. So we're going to go and start the music. Get your piece of paper out. I'll repeat it one more time for you guys. Okay. Write down 3 dominating thoughts, aka your wild horses that you carry with you throughout the day. 60 seconds.
We learn a lot from YouTube. We learn a lot. We learn a
Alrighty. Now, next part here. Guarding your thoughts. What thoughts and beliefs do your friends, relatives, or acquaintances, your community, and your nation hold that you need to guard against? Examples. Here's what I wrote down. I need systems and operations in order to scale. I have scaled all of this with basically 4 things that I told you: a calendar link, Stripe, a way to collect payments, Stripe Square, a sales script, and a product to sell. Multiple 7 figures just with that. But I have this idea that I need ops and systems and operation, email lists, and funnels in order to scale, right? So that's not real. That's an outside person trying to put this on me. Okay. What's another one? Consistency, predictability, scalability comes from my ops and systems. And organic is unpredictable. And I must wait to scale my business. Okay. What is it? This one, 60 second. Your guard. What are the thoughts and beliefs that your friends, relatives, and acquaintances, your community, and your nation hold that you must guard against? 60 seconds. Alrighty. So you guys can always go back. Like I said, this guys, it's just giving you a framework. You can always go back and do it by yourself on your own. By the way, you're gonna have homework and stuff, so you have more time. But let's move on to the next part. So that was part 1, part 2. Now let's get into part 3. Okay. So before we get to part 3 here, make sure you keep your paper and pen. Like we still have more to do here. I think there's 6 parts here. Yeah. So we're on 3 right now. Okay. Want to take a quick little intermission. Okay. To talk about the VIP day. Some of you guys are already messaging me like, "Hey, DeAndre, yeah, I have questions in Q&A. There's no Q&A on this one. That's going to be on Friday." Okay. So if you wanted to be on the VIP day, it's $97. Okay. It's like literally nothing. You guys get on there. You guys can ask me questions. I'll review your homework, all this stuff we're doing, the worksheets you're going to have. I'll review that all for you. Okay. It's just an extra day. I get to have fun with you guys, do some Q&A and stuff. But if you guys want to do that, just check it out on in the school group. Okay. And then another thing I wanted to do before we kind of get into this is like talk about like the testimonials. Like talk about like we're doing all these, auto suggestion and this and that, but what happens when you actually do this? Okay. So you guys remember Sarah? And you guys can go check this out on your own as well. You guys remember Sarah that was in the on the testimony? Who's seen this testimony from Sarah? This one here. She went from $300 a month to $25,000 a month after applying this material. So the thing that you're writing down right now, when we get back into this, I want you to really think and believe like this can change your life. She was, and by the way, you can go watch all these testimonials on your own. It's on my YouTube channel, all of them. Look at this: 5K a month to 50K a month, 5K a month to 23K a month, 6K a month to 6K a week, 0 to 50K a month in 30 days, 30K a month to I think she went to 60. 0 to 17K, 0 to 40K, 8K a month, 27K a week, and so on and so forth, right? But for Sarah specifically, she started in my school group doing the same things you guys are doing now. So when you're writing this, I want you to write like this could really change your life. She was in solar sales, doing $300 a month for multiple months, just taking her draw. Then she joined the program, literally just the school group, which I don't really sell anymore, but she joined the school group, and this was before Mr. Law of Attraction, so she was like the only one in there, right? And I taught her these same things, the same things you guys are writing now, the same homework, and her first month did $25,000 in profits, like in commissions. That's how much this can change in your life. Okay, so let's get into the next one here. Okay, so believe that this is real. Number 3, the rich garden of your mind. The subconscious mind resembles a fertile garden spot, which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of more desirable crops are not sown therein. Autosuggestion, and it's the third time I'm going to say this. Autosuggestion is the vehicle of control in which an individual may voluntarily feed the subconscious mind the thoughts of a creative nature, or by neglect, permit thoughts of destructive nature to find their way into the riches of your mind. As Errol Nightingale used to say in The Strangest Secret, you can plant corn or you can plant nightshade, which is a deadly poison. The mind will grow both of them, poverty or riches. It's whatever one you choose to plant in there. Now let's talk about the next assignment here. Weeding your garden. What 3 destructive thoughts in your mental garden would you like to uproot? Examples are things like this. My YouTube channel isn't growing the same. Like my first month, I got 15,000 subscribers subconsciously. Then I got too tactical and thumbnails and this and that. I got too much into it. So my mind, I have to get out this idea that my channel is growing slow. It's not. It's growing to what I believe it is. Okay. Another one is I'm not smart enough. It's taking too much work. I was born to the wrong family. My sales, my cash flow is slowing down. Those are examples. What are 3 thoughts that you want to uproot from your garden? 60 seconds. Alrighty, next one here. Feeding your garden. What thoughts, seeds would you like to plant into your rich, fertile garden of mind to replace the beliefs that you have just uprooted? For example, my YouTube channel is exploding exponentially, effortlessly as I build a loyal audience. Each video is outperforming the one before it, garnering millions of views per video. Or another one, my qualified book calls are abundantly flowing to the point where I have 1,000x more people wanting to hire me than I have the capacity to handle. I now have I can't even read my own writing. I have more cash flow coming. I earn more cash in my sleep than I could ever lavishly spend in my waking days. Right? Those are what I wrote. Go ahead and write yours. 60 seconds. All right, let's go. Number 4, understand the subconscious mind continued. Number 4, emotionalizing your beliefs. When reading aloud the statement of your desire, through which you are developing a money consciousness, that the mere reading of the words is of no consequence unless you mix the emotions. We're on number 4 right now. Unless you mix the emotions of feeling with the words. If you repeat a million times the famous Emil formula, day by day, in every way I'm getting better and better, without mixing emotions and faith with the words, you experience no desirable results. Your subconscious mind recognizes and acts only upon the thoughts which have been well mixed with emotion and feeling. This is a fact of such importance as to warrant repetition in practically every chapter, because a lack of understanding of this is the main reason the majority of people who try to apply the principle of autosuggestion get no desirable results. Plain, unemotional words do not influence the subconscious mind. You will not get appreciable results until you learn to reach your subconscious mind with thoughts or spoken words which have been well emotionalized with belief. Let's go into the next one here. Okay, this is your next action plan. Look at the following statements. Okay, I'm going to read some off to you. Look at the following affirmative statements. Find the one that excites you the most. Beginning today until you have reached whatever goal whatever date you put on your goal card. Okay, so starting today and whatever until this date that you wrote here, you're going to repeat this 100 times every day. Do it in the mirror, do it in bed, do 50 in the morning, 50 at night, 20 in the shower, 20 while driving, whatever you want. Start repeating this affirmation. In the beginning of the statement, in the beginning, it may sound mechanical to repeat these words. But if you persist, you will find that your feelings will become engaged and they are no longer words on a page, but rather they become your words emerging from your very being. As you repeat the statement, make sure to breathe, try to feel the words coming from deep within you. Now I'm going to read off some of these affirmations. You guys can choose or you can create your own. Okay? So let's talk about what's Bob's. I'm so happy and grateful. Now the money flows to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a daily basis, right? That's what Bob used to say. You could say things such as, I am open to receiving all of life's riches. You could say things like, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. You could say, every day in every way, I'm open to new doors in my life. You could say, day by day in every way, I'm getting better and better. You could say, I am prosperous. You could say, I say yes to life and life says yes to me. Or you could say, everything I touch turns to gold. That's the one I like that was suggested in this book. But the one I wrote is this one. I earn more money in my sleep than I could ever spend lavishly in my working day. That's what I put on mine. And I think I got that from Bob Proctor. I don't know where I heard that before, but he would say things like that. Where it's like he would earn more in his sleep than he could ever spend in the day. So I wrote that down. So write down yours. What will you say? You can use, I just gave you some inspiration. You can say the one that Bob said, I'm so happy and grateful now that money flows to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. You can read the one that I wrote. I earn more money in my sleep than I could ever spend lavishly in my working days. Everything I touch turns to gold. I will give you 60 seconds to write what you're going to decide what you're gonna write and say to yourself 100 times a day. All righty. How's everybody liking this so far? You guys are liking the action plans, taking action. Some of you guys, if you're on YouTube, you'd just be watching me right now. You guys would just be watching me, kind of like, do it, making dinner, watching the kids, not actually doing it. But now you're on a challenge, you have to do it, right? Okay, and I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one. I'm just gonna say it to you guys. That way we spend more time on other things. The fifth and final one is to do your meditations, right? First thing in the morning, last thing at night, saying your goal card. Okay, that's gonna be your final action plan. Okay, so I want to make a nice little transition to repetition because it is such an important part that most people are sleeping on it. Okay, this is, by the way, these questions and workbooks are gonna be coming from our new document that we'll have. Our next challenge, you'll have a workbook to print out and you guys can follow along, and there'll be teachings. It'll be really fun. So we have our team working on it. Okay. But with that being said, I wanted to talk about repetition because it's such an important part that most people are sleeping, because it's like we talked about auto suggestion, aka the way you speak to the subconscious mind, and it's done through repetition. It's very easy to find the image, what car, what life, what house, what body, what relationship. That's easy. You can put emotions behind it. Okay. Some of you, it's a little bit more hard. Some of others is easier. It's the repetition. That is the key right there. And I talked about this, I think, on day one, that most people, and most of you as well, because I'm very tapped in with my clients and my audience. Most of you guys are not doing repetition. You're not doing repetition. You are jumping around too much. And here was what I did to really hone in on auto suggestion and do repetition clearly. This is what I did. Number one, where there's audios, so hearing, reading, seeing, right? Visualization, aka meditations, and certain videos. Okay, that is what I did. So like now this was fun, right? Where I just taught a bunch of theory and stuff. Now how do you implement? What did I do? Okay, I repetitionally took the Bob Proctor program called Thinking into Results. Okay, the same program that I give to my clients. Okay, obviously I don't work for Bob's company anymore, but I still give it to my clients because it's such an important part of their growth. And without that repetition, it doesn't work. For some of you guys, if you're finding out that you're doing all these things that we're saying on YouTube, and you're doing this and you're doing this and you're reading, and it's like it's still not working, it's because honestly, it's that part right there. It's the repetition of these videos that still to this day I still do. Like that's my hidden secret. If you want to know what my hidden secret is, Bob Proctor created this program called Thinking into Results that as consultants we used to sell. Okay, or I think they still do if they're still consultants, right? And so basically, him and Sandy Gallagher took 60 years of experience and put into a 6-month program. And so when I met Bob, and as a consultant, when I paid the money, I would sell, teach, market this program like a franchise. So I would do my own marketing, get my own clients, charge what I wanted, but I would give them this program. So when I got this, remember, I had 30 days to figure this out. I got this Thinking into Results program, and I said, I got 30 days to start studying this program repetitiously, exactly how Bob Proctor told me. And what he told me is, DeAndre, if you study this for 6 months, you'll need a telescope to look back at your life. And I believed him. I was like, it was just, I had nothing else going on for me. So it was the repetition of this, which I don't really talk about on YouTube because like, I don't know why. Sometimes I do. I don't know. But I just wanted, it's like an extra note I put here. Repetition is such an important part that what was I doing? I would listen to TIR, Thinking into Results, every single day. And to this day, I still do it, but I do other programs. I have all the programs. I spent $150,000 with Bob, right? So you have to listen to the same things over and over again. You have to select right now. There's two options that you have right now to do. You can do the free route or you can do the paid route. Let's talk about the free route. You're going to have to find some type of audio that you can listen to thousands of times to reprogram your subconscious mind. Okay? Now, what's the free route that you can do? You can maybe start with The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. That's what I was doing prior. Up to this point, I've now listened to it thousands of times, but I'll be honest with you, I was listening to it to about 4 to 5 times a day, but I was still broke. Like nothing was really happening to me. What it did was it bridged the gap to the point where I actually started with Earl Nightingale. Then through Earl, I kind of found Bob. And then Bob, like I hired him and then implemented. So like it found me to the point where I made money through working with Bob. But the program itself, I can attest that that was the actual testimonial. Remember, I'm a testimonial as well. Like I'm not a sales guy. I'm a testimonial of the same things I'm teaching you guys. So what worked for me wasn't directly The Strangest Secret. Okay. But that's something you can start for free. Okay. What's another one? Maybe you could do Earl Nightingale's Condensation of Think and Go Rich. That's like a 45-minute one. That's one that you can do. Like I said, that's stuff you can do for free right now. Just Google it on YouTube. Right? If somebody wants to put in the chat, okay. That's not what I did. So if you're like, I want to do what DeAndre didn't have the 100K months, that's not what I did, but that's what you can start for free because some of you don't have money or you don't have money to invest, but you need to start with something. Those are two you can start with right there. The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale, or Think and Go Rich, Condensation by Earl Nightingale for free. Okay. What did I do? I did the paid route. The paid route is much faster and it's more systemized. That's called Thinking into Results, but you have to pay for that one. It has the audios, it has the workbooks, and you do the visualizations. Okay. That's what we do. If you're in the school group, you already know the visualization. I kind of mapped it out for you. Okay. But I wanted to emphasize that because I don't talk about it on YouTube a lot, but you need to implement repetition at one of those levels right there. Decide right now what you're going to do. Because if there's anything that you could take away from this entire challenge, you need to do repetition of whichever route. Whether you hire me and do the paid route or do the free route, you need repetition of something. You need to listen to it 2 to 3 times a day, every single day for like the next 6 months and make a commitment to that. But here's the thing. Most of you won't do that because especially if you do it for free, because literally it's for free, you won't do it. It's that funny. Like it sounds weird. Remember, I have thousands of clients. I've been doing this for some time. I've had 7,000 sales calls. I have thousands of clients, and out of those thousands, 500 have spent around 10,000 with me. I've noticed patterns, and so with those patterns, here's this. You say, DeAndre, what's the difference between the clients that get results and don't? Is that when somebody does something for free, they don't put as much value behind it. Like some of you will start The Strangest Secret or whatever repetition you decide, the paid or the free route, but then you'll stop next week. And then Christmas came around, then the kid's birthday, and then you moved, and then you stopped doing it. It's like you stopped doing the thing. You have to continue to do it. And now when this is what happened to me, because I spent so much money with Bob, I stuck on it longer. So when my clients pay me, literally it's similar to what I talk about on YouTube, but now since they paid, they actually do it. If you can bridge that gap, then you can figure this out by yourself. Like you don't need to hire me. Literally, you guys don't need to hire me. You can do it by yourself. But most people can't do that because they just fall off. But that's something I wanted to emphasize really important is you need repetition. Okay. And now I think that's pretty much it. All right. So now what's a homework? The homework, are you guys finding out where to find the recordings in the homework? Okay. You guys have to do the homework now and make sure you come to tomorrow's call. Okay. Here's what the homework is going to look like. Okay. I'll take one question. If somebody wants to write a question in the if somebody wants to write a question in the chat, I'll go ahead and take one question as I'm getting this together here. Okay, so let's go ahead and recap where we're at. So we just are wrapping up here on day 4, okay, of the challenge. Or is it day 3? Day three of the challenge. Okay. Yesterday, and what you hear, I'll show you guys again for those of you coming in. You come into you should be here in the Quantum Leap group here on school. You come here to classroom. You come into where it says Think You Go Rich Challenge, part 1. Okay. Day 1, and its recordings are right here. So you're going to find the recording. You're going to find the homework. Day 2, you're going to find the homework here. You're going to find the recording. And then right after this, day 3, you're going to find the homework and the recording. Okay. So let's talk about the homework for today's call. Okay. Auto suggesting the mastery of how to do this. Okay. So here's your worksheet. Okay. I'm going to post this in here. Come to the call tomorrow with this done. It shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes. Okay. At the end of the day, like I said, this is for you. Like I've been doing this for years. Like if you don't do it, or if you do it, you're going to have bonus points, brownie points. But if you don't do it, like you're only going against yourself. So this is for you. This is for me, my gift to you to kind of organize your thoughts, organize your life so you can start implementing this for free without me. Like that's actually my thing. If you guys realize, like, my thing is, what do people charge for? Like you realize a lot of these mindset people charge for these things. I don't. Like here's for free. Information, everything you need. Step 1, step 2, worksheet, do this, do that for free. I give that for free because then what will happen, which we'll talk about a little bit later, is that some people want to go faster. If you want to go faster, that's when you kind of hire me and learn how to implement. But for most of it, you guys can do it yourself. I did it by myself. Like Bob, other than like 1 or 2 calls, like I figured most of this out by myself. I took thinking into results and introspection. You guys want to be able to do this by yourself. Okay. The homework will be posted in the school group and you'll be able to do that. Okay. Day 4. Drop a 4 in the chat if you guys are ready for day 4. It's 2:15 a.m. for me, guys. I'm telling you. These are late. These are late for me, but I committed to them. I enjoy them. I prefer to do them at like 4 in the afternoon, but it is what it is. Day 4. Okay, that's gonna be tomorrow. Actually, let's recap what we talked about today. Auto suggestion. The power of repetition. It's so important. If that's one thing you can take away from all this, because you just listen to so much information, like, okay, I got all these notes, but the biggest thing I can say for you guys is it's just you need repetition. Repetition of your goal card, your visualization. Actually, let me break this down. Repetition of seeing the image of what you want, okay, which is your goal card. Right? You need repetition of this. You need repetition of your visualization 2 to 3 times a day. You need repetition of certain audios and videos. I gave you some audio suggestions for free. Earl Nightingale's Stranger's Secret and the condensation after you can go rich. If you want to do the paid route, then I talk about that tomorrow. If you book a call with me, that's a paid route, and you take thinking into results. Whichever route you need to implement that today. Okay? So we talked about your daily thoughts, repetition-based learning, and your action plans, your affirmations, your visualization, and the homework we just did. Now, day 4, we're going to be talking about specialized knowledge. This one, we're going to get more business stuff, okay? Because you think that if you want to get paid like an expert, which is 6 to 7 figures, multiple 6 to 7 figures, you have to have specialized knowledge, okay? So that's what we're going to talk about. And then day 5 is all for the VIP members, like I talked about. It's all about implementation and Q&A. I'm not really there to teach you guys. I just want to be there to support you. You guys have massive questions. I know. You're like, DeAndre, what is this business? Should I start this? Should I restructure this? I want to start a coaching business. How do I start a YouTube channel? All of that stuff, you can ask me on Friday. Okay? So you can just be on the VIP day. Right now, I think there's only like 5 of you guys that are in there right now. So really, it's like getting cute, like almost like one-on-one time with me in there. Okay? So if you go ahead and do that. But that's it, guys. Let's look at that question you guys wrote in the chat. What is the best way to get a plan when starting a new business? Hold on. What is the best way to get a plan when starting a new business? It's an ad agency. Okay, so this goes into like what problem are you solving? Guys, we talked about this in yesterday's lesson. You get paid for solving a problem. Like right now, I'm solving a problem for you guys, which is lack and inconsistency in your business. Reprogram your subconscious mind. Like I'm solving a problem for you guys. That problem is worth a lot of money. Why? The gap. I want you guys to look at your situation right now. Just look at where you're at objectively. Look at your house. Look at your bank account. Look at the things that you have. And then now close your eyes and now visualize what you want. Visualize the house, the cars, the relationship, the healthy relationship, the body, whatever, the car, all that stuff. Visualize. Okay, see it. Now, what else will you have? Who else will you be? How do you feel about yourself? Now join me back. There's a gap. You see this? The gap between your physical reality and that reality. That is a real thing. And every week that goes on, every day, every month, every year, you're just delaying that. So there's a gap between your human potential and where you're at. And most people, they're tired of that gap and it's frustrating. That's how you know you're frustrated. That gap is worth a lot, and Bob Proctor is making $100 million a year solving that gap. That is the gap that I fill to help you guys do that. It's not the law of attraction. That's just my name. We teach this human potential gap. Some of it is mindset, some of it is business strategy. Okay. So you have to, if you're going to do this, you're going to have to solve a problem for somebody. What problem are you solving? And you get good at that. Here's a quick little business rant. Okay. Number one is you have to have an offer. What is your offer? Your offer is your pricing. Is it $5,000 a month? Is it $10,000 one-time payment? Yeah, what is your offer? What problem are you solving? You're taking them from their current situation to their desired situation. What's the time frame? Is it every 30 days, like a monthly subscription? Is it I work at the program for 3 months? Is it different things like that? Now, obviously, this is in the coaching niche. If you're doing e-com, it's different. But for example, let me tell you a funny little story. This stuff is so good that there's a 17-year-old making $250,000 a month on the material that I taught him. Let me tell you this story really quickly. So 2 summers ago, I was doing still the same content here, and my really good friend, his younger brother, who was 16 at the time, 15 at the time, his parents were telling him to get a job at a burger place. And he's like, dude, I don't want to get a job. He's messaging me, right? He's like, dude, I want to get a job. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to hire you. You're 15, dude. Like, what do you do? He's like, well, I practice video editing. I'm like, all right, man, come make TikTok videos for me. And so he would make these little short videos and edit my YouTube videos on my other channel that I had. And I said, dude, I'm not going to pay you. You're 15 and your work's like so-so. Like, it's not worth me paying. But what I'll do is I'll teach you everything that I know about mindset and business, and you can call me when you want. And I guarantee at the end of the 6 months, you'll be making more than your teachers and you'll be making more than your parents. That was 2 years ago. He worked for me for 6 months. Everything happened. He now makes $250,000 a month at 17 years old. He's moving to Dubai when he turns 18. Everything that I taught him, he implemented. Here's the difference. He was 17, so every word I said, he did. Some of you, I see some of you guys here on the Zoom here. I've had sales calls with you guys. That's what I'm telling you guys out, is that there's like 3 kind of people here. One, it's like you're hearing me, but it sounds good. Like it sounds nice, but you won't do much with it. The other person is like, DeAndre, that sounds nice, but what is this? And I don't have the money, and I don't have the contacts, and this and that. And then the third person does exactly what I say. Like Anish, if you guys see, Anish is now in Bali with me. He was 22 years old. He's still 22. When he hired me, he was only making $8,000 a month. He's the first one-on-one client that came from the YouTube channel, $15K a month. He's like, DeAndre, I don't want to join your group coach. I want one-on-one. So at the time, it was $15K a month. I'm like, bro, like you're only making $8K a month. Are you sure you want to spend $15K a month with me? He's like, dude, I want to get as close to you as possible. So he spent the $15K on his Amex card. And I told him exactly what to do. And he did exactly. That was the difference. Like, I will tell Liz, I'll tell you exactly what to do. Annie, I already told you what to do. Like, I told you guys what to do. And then person A says, that sounds nice. And that's typically the person that didn't pay anything. It's from the YouTube channel. Then person B is like, that sounds nice, DeAndre, but I don't have the this and I don't have the that. And then they don't do it. And person 3, which is typically the person that spent so much money, it scares them. They're like, all right, DeAndre, whatever, I need to get my money back. Whatever you say, I'm going to make this, I'm going to start the YouTube channel, I'm going to do this. And then they do it. So that reason, like Alexis, you're what? You're 15? You're 15. You're from Barcelona, right? This guy just joined my program. Like, he's 15 years old. Like, he's doing everything I said, starting the business, doing this, doing that. And that, like, it's either the people that spend a lot of money or they're so young that, like, I influence them. And I'm like, Alexis, do this, do this, do this, do this. And then they, boom, watch. And Alexis, By the time he's 18 years old, we'll be earning millions of dollars because he's doing everything I said, and he's not like doing sideways things. But like the older, more mature folk, they're still going sideways. I don't know. But I wanted to tell you that little story. I don't know. That was a massive tangent. But you got to solve a problem for people, okay? Solve a problem, create an offer, then you find a micro niche, okay? A micro niche is a small group of people where you can solve that problem for them. Here's a fun little example. So in Dubai, we smoke shisha, okay? It's an Arabic thing, okay? I think. It's massive, and I smoke shisha every day, right? And even though I have veneers, right, which is like these little caps on my teeth, I was shopping for toothpaste, and they had this toothpaste that was specifically for smokers, and I also smoke cigars. So I bought this toothpaste, and I didn't know at the time, right? I'm brushing my teeth, and I was like, why did I even buy this toothpaste? First of all, I have veneers, and for some reason, I psychologically thought that it was like this special formula to take off the stains from the teeth. And I'm over here like, this was marketing 101. Toothpaste specifically for the shisha and cigar smokers. That is what you have for your offer. You have when you solve a problem, it's for a very specific group of people that they're like, damn, this is for me. That's why I told you guys very clearly at the beginning of this video, I do mindset, law of attraction work for business owners, typically six-figure business owners. So when they see me, they're like, this is me. Like, this is exactly what I need. So now when I start going to offers and sales and ads and marketing and this, they're like, oh my gosh, like it's like Bob Proctor, but on steroids, specifically customized for me. Congratulations. That's literally what I am. So I'm able to scale my business. You start first in the micro niches, then you start to expand. Grant Cardone didn't teach sales and real estate to start. He taught sales for car dealerships, blew that niche up, and then expanded. You start in the micro niche. You get really good at solving one problem for one specific person in one specific way. You scale that out. You will make unless you're making $100,000 a month, you should only have one offer, one thing. Now I'm talking specifically in the coaching. If it's e-com, it's slightly different. But even the 17-year-old, I'm telling you, he sells cologne. You know, it's so funny when he got his first $7,000, he calls me and he's like, DeAndre, I got $7,000. What do I do with it? What do I do with it? I'm like, rest it back into ads. Do this. I'm like, do you need the money? What about your business partner? Oh, my business partner, this. I'm like, you know, I was guiding him every step of the way. Now I'm like, I just message him, I'm like, hey, how's everything? He's like, yeah, he's doing good for himself. You know? So that was a massive tangent. I don't know. I'm just talking to you guys. I'm like doing like business coaching for you a little bit. Okay. So you have your offer, you have your micro niche, and then you got to make content. There's only two ways to make content: organic and paid. You start organic, get proof of concept. What is proof of concept? You get your first 3 customers, especially in the coaching niche. If it's e-com, maybe your first $3,000 or something, your first few sales. You need proof of concept. Don't go spending a bunch of money in marketing. Like, who's the people on this call? I know some of you are on here. Don't hide from me. You're like, once I get my website done, then I'll start. Like, I don't even have I've never had a website. Like, if you Google me, my Instagram is my website. Literally, like, I barely have a funnel. Like, somebody booked a bunch of calls saying they're funnel hacking me. I'm like, dude, I don't even know if my funnel works, bro. Like, it's there. People are so lost. You don't need websites. You don't need funnels. Like, I don't even. We just like got our emails done. I threw them in ChatGPT and they gave it to me. Like, we don't have these special things. You don't need that. What is this? Somebody on my whiteboard? Okay. Nobody doing that. Okay. So now when you start making content. You do it free or you do paid. My recommendation, if you're doing high ticket, anything, YouTube. Where did you guys come from? You guys came from YouTube. You did not come from TikTok. I have always sold high ticket things, which I've done multiple 7 figures with long form content on whether it was webinars, masterclasses, or now it's YouTube. Highly recommend YouTube. It's not that easy though. I've posted 500 videos between this channel and my other channel. Okay. But I kind of got it down to a formula where I'm able to get high ticket sales. Obviously, you guys are part of my system here. Okay. So I recommend doing YouTube. TikTok and stuff's not my thing because I personally think it's cheaper views. For example, take 1,000 YouTube videos and 1,000 Instagram views, rather, they're not the same. I'll take 1,000 YouTube views over 1,000 TikTok views, 10,000 TikTok views any day. It's just a higher quality because people are engaged with you. They need 7 hours of content before they buy from you. So imagine them just scrolling on your Instagram, watching all these little 30-second videos, or as we're speaking, thousands of people are binge watching my videos right now. Thousands of people have just watched my YouTube channel as we've been on this challenge, getting indoctrinated with my beliefs, getting results, and then they're going to book a call. I highly recommend YouTube. Okay. Or you can do the paid route, which is ads, but don't run ads until you got proof of concept with the paid part. Okay. So Alexis, I know that's super broad, but like it just comes down to like, if I looked at, like, for example, Annie, if I looked at your business, I can like fix your business in literally 2 minutes. But that's what like one-on-one coaching and stuff. But I have to like kind of make a blanket content for everybody here. Okay. All right. So guys, that's gonna be it. Tomorrow's call for those of you that did want to like, all right, D, I want to hire you. I'm tired of it. And by the way, who's the guy that wants to hire me? The people that want to go faster, save time, right? Because this takes time, guys. Like I want you to know this. Every month, think about this. I learned this from Alex Hormozy. Everybody write down on that piece of paper what that C-type goal is, right? That income, the income specifically. What's that income? So I'll put in mine. You can put your 100K a month, your 10K a month, which is too small, by the way, if you're thinking 10K a month. Okay? Right underneath it, write down what you earned last month. Yes. What did you earn last month? Write that down. Okay. Take out your calculator. Oh, I can't use mine. I'm live on Instagram right now. Take out your calculator. Okay. Take your C-type goal and put that income in. So say it's 100K a month. Okay. Minus what you earned last month. So let's just say your goal is 100K a month. Okay. Last month you did 30. So minus 30 equals 70K. Last month you missed out on $70,000 of opportunity cost not being at your C-type goal. And every month that goes on, and write that number down because obviously it wasn't 70, whatever number that is, the gap between your C-type goal and what you did last month, that is the opportunity cost you're missing out on every single month because you're not at where you need to be. That's very expensive. So it costs more money not to get to your goal than to stay where you're at. But you have to change your perspective. Remember, that's one of the faculties of your mind. Change your perspective. So now, does it make sense to hire somebody like Bob Proctor that, yes, I paid him at the time $33,000 and it made me millions. So it was an amazing opportunity cost. But in hindsight, but looking at me, it was too expensive. So you have to change the perspective. I saw the $5,000 leave my bank account or put it on the credit card, but I didn't see 100K months coming 2 months later. You can see the money now leaving, but you don't see what's coming as you close the gap between where you're at, where you want to be. Anyways, we'll talk about that more tomorrow. For those of you that wanted to like go ahead and hire me, we'll talk about all that stuff. All that stuff. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.